Welcome back to some more Umineko When They Cry. So, where we last left off, Battler's group is able to uh, be within the safe haven, aka the Golden Land. Well, at a time limit. They tried to convince Lambda Delta to sneak in the the Sea of Knowledge, aka the area where Angie and Burn Castle and the such will be at, to sneak in and bring Angie back. But it failed because Lambda doesn't want to take risks. She's still gonna stick to her guts and be the observer. So that's what it is. And then we have the whatchamacallit. What do we have here? Well, there was the convention take place at the present time, aka 1998. It has some bit of a similarity to it if you think about it. The whole convention at the witch hunters and the such. I was like, wait a minute, what? Why am I getting this similar vibe? I'm being pretty vague here, but you get what I mean. Anyway, let's continue. Like Erica's room, Burncastle's was a balcony without a handrail, dug out of a bookshelf cliff. Angie had been kept waiting for some time, but she had waited patiently, looking down at the world below her.
遅くなったわね。ごめんなさい。
After Burncastle appeared, the black cats gave a bow and vanished.
ほら、持ってきたわよ。一なる真実の書。
The Book of the Single Truth. The hell? Wow. It's crazy.
触れてもいい？お好きになさい。
Burncastle set it on the table and beckoned Angie forward. Slowly, Angie approached it.
これがエヴァおばさんの日記。
Bring the Fate, version Chiru.
そうよ。その中にあんたが知りたかった一なる真実が記されているわ。鍵は持ってるわよね。
Obviously. Of course Angie has the key. What, you think Angie lost it the entire time?
ええ。ここに。
Angie took the key out, looked at it there on her palm, then gripped it tightly. Even the heavy lock that held the diary so securely was fated to be swept aside easily as soon as Angie readied herself.
せかさないわ。あなたの心の準備がついてから開けるといい。この中には1986年10月4日と5日に何が起こったか記されているのよね。そうよ。あなたが命と引き換えにしてでも知りたいと願ったすべてがね。
In that instant, two Angies appeared inside of her, taking control of her body at the same time. On the one hand, she knew that she had already paid a great price to learn the truth. This part of her gripped the key, wanting to avoid a second of hesitation that might lead her to refuse to learn the truth now. At the final moment, with the Book of the Single Truth right before her. On the other hand, a feeling as though she was betraying the brother and family who watched over her warmly made her bite her lower lip. However, though she shook, she could do nothing but watch as her right hand slowly brought the key towards the lock. Well, there's the two decisions right here. All right. What am I hesitating for? Inside this diary is the final destination of my sad, painful 12-year-long journey. Wasn't 12 years enough? Do I want to keep living that way? That brother is an illusion created by my heart, my naive hope that a miracle might still occur. If I put my two options on a scale, then the path I should choose is clear. Slowly, I pushed the key into the lock and twisted. The lock opened with a click, and at the same time, it felt as though a crack ran through the key in my hands. Maybe a part of that intricate design had fallen off. I couldn't tell where it was broken just by glancing at it. However, for some reason, its golden glint seemed dull somehow.
あんたがその鍵で選択をしたから。魔法が一つ消えたのよ。何の魔法？
The choice has already been fulfilled.
バトラが言わなかった。その鍵はあなた以外の誰にも渡すことはできないって。そのあなたに選択を委ねるという魔法が今その役目を終えて消えたのよ。もうその鍵はただの鍵。この日記を開け閉めするだけのただの鍵よ。
そう。じゃあこのお兄ちゃんの鍵ももう用済みね。
もらってもいい？あんたが読んだ後にもう一度施錠するの。その錠前を開けるのもパーティーの立派なセレモニーだそうだから。
Oh no. Angie, are you really gonna trust her into like giving her the key?
そう。好きにすればいいわ。
Oh no. You've gotta be kidding me. I don't give a damn what happens after I find the truth. Berncastle slid the key from where it lay on the table and put it into her pocket.
ではどうぞ。真実を知ろうとするあなたの勇気が消えてしまう前にね。
I lifted up Aunt Eva's now unlocked diary. The lock was unset. Even the hinge had been released by now. Nothing stands in the way of me opening to the pages within. I thought of taking a deep breath. However, I decided against it. I prepared myself for this long ago. It'd be so stupid to feel my reluctance further. Yeah, better withstand the truth while at it. Brace for impact. I opened it, violently, ruthlessly. I knew that this was the right way to open to the pages that held the truth. As soon as the cover was opened, a brilliant light poured out. My mind went hazy. The truth was sent to my mind directly, without letters or words. Tell me, what happened on that day on Rokenjima? Yeah, what happened there? Oh shit. It's like we're preparing the scales. We're going back to that. We're going back in time. Whoa, shit. My consciousness returned gradually. Nothing was written in the book. Nothing was written in the open book before me. Of course, this was my own blank and empty notebook. I was at school, just sitting idly with my notebook open. The world had stopped. The hands on the clock had stopped too. In that case, the auditorium should have been filled with silence. However, I could hear a small commotion. In this world of suspended time, I could see dark shapes sneaking about in the shadows of the unmoving students. They were students with goat heads. Oh boy. They were sneaking glances at me from behind the frozen students, whispering something to each other. I know. I can hear them. Everybody knows. One after another, students with goat heads grew out of shadows all over the room. They slipped around all the students, stopped in time, and gathered around me. Then, they all jeered out something in unison and, as if they knew I could hear, showered me with giggles and gossip and sneers. However, nothing that came from the goat's mouth reached my ears as words. This was a world without letters or words, so no words reached me. However, their emotions and meanings did reach me, so I knew what they were saying, what it was they were saying. And then, when I was able to visualize it, one after another, the goats opened their massive jaws, showing their fangs that dripped with saliva, and came forward to bite me. Oh no. Let me guess, we're near death, is what you're saying. Time was stopped for me. I was aware, but I could not move. That wasn't literally true. However, I was pretending that I couldn't hear, so I couldn't move. The goats bit me all over my body, leaving their fang marks, licking me. Maybe they didn't like the taste of my clothes. Taking advantage of the fact that I couldn't move, they chewed through my clothes one by one. Over and over again, the goats stuck their tongues, their jaws, their fangs into my naked body. I was covered with drool and bitten all over. Bright red teeth marks were left behind as sharp fangs pierced my skin, leaving trails of blood. They licked up that blood like real goats, hurting and humiliating me. As I hung my head, one of the goats pulled on my hair, forcing me to look up and spoke. They didn't say it with concepts, but with words I could hear. However, they weren't words of the human world. They were a witch's words. The red truth, which signifies truth that is certain. Well, if that's how it is, then brace for impact on that one.
認めないわ。
あんたが認めなくったってこれが真相なんでしょだってあんたが認めないじゃない
It's gibberish.
認めないわ。認めないわ。
It's the chance of the
それは
devil.
真実。私は認めない。認めない。
あんたが認めても認めなくても真実は変わらないだって真実証明された真実が真実がこれなんだから
All the laughter. Who cares about the truth? So stupid, so pointless. I'm the one who gets to decide if that's the truth or not, right? Even if it's the red truth, I won't acknowledge it, won't forgive it, definitely won't accept it. That's for damn sure.
赤き真実は絶対？誰にとっての絶対？あんたたちにとっての絶対でしょ？私にとっての絶対じゃない！私の真実はあんたたちの真実に怪我されたりなんかしない！
エンジェ、落ち着いて。知りたいと願ったのはあんたでしょ？
私の真実はエヴァおばさんが犯人。エヴァおばさんがみんなを殺したのよ。悪いのは全部エヴァおばさん。お父さんもお母さんもお兄ちゃんもみんなただの犠牲者。誰も悪くない、誰も悪くない。だってそうじゃない、だってそうじゃない。
Yeah, but what if it was, you know, your parents doing all the work, and then Eva was the one being framed, just like the last episode? You don't know. Your aunt will always be on your side, Angie-chan.
分かったわ。あんたの言葉の意味。そうよ、エヴァおばさん、あんたが犯人よ。あんたが犯人。それを認めない世界の方がおかしいのよ。壊れてるのよ。
Hey man, the world is a harsh reality.
正しいのは私。私は赤き真実を、世界の全てを否定する。
そう。じゃああんただけに記せる赤き真実を記してごらんなさい。でも人間はどうやって赤き真実を記すの？
あるわよ。人間にしか記せない真っ赤なインクがあるじゃない。
Write it in red, my favorite color.
エンジェさん、落ち着いてください。
正しいのは私、間違ってるのが世界。私が記してあげる。本当の赤き真実で私が真実を記してあげる。
20屋上支援大至急。エンジェさん、待ちなさい。早まるな、危ない。
グッバイエンジェ。Have a nice day.
Goodbye, Angie. Have a nice day.
記してあげる。これが私の記す真っ赤な真実。お前たちの世界の真実など私は受け入れるものか。
Oh wow. We're back to episode 3 of the Witch's Tea Party. She's gonna fall down off the balcony in this one. It's crazy how this pans out. Angie's body went past the edge of the balcony. The air, which she had once been able to swim through, was now completely merciless for some reason. Angie's body plunged straight into the darkness below. Burn Castle just watched the scene play out in silence. Yeah, no words. Behind her, men in black suits rushed up to the fence, clutching it and screaming.
20エンジェさんが飛び降りた。ダメだ、 ここからは姿が見えない。大至急地上を調べろ。無理だ、どうしようもなかった。ひょっとするとあそこの防護ネットに引っかかったかもしれん。調べてみよう。
Well, that's the thing. Is she gonna be caught by a safe landing, or is she just gonna guarantee to die? What fools. If you jump straight down from this height, do you really think such a flimsy safety net could possibly save you?
そんな奇跡絶対に起こらないことをこの奇跡の王子ベルンカステルが保証してあげるわ。
Sweet. Angie's body fell from the skyscraper-like bookshelf and slammed against the floor of the City of Books. She's just looking down from Burn Castle's balcony, which was as high as a skyscraper's roof. Did it look like a lovely red pressed flower? No, you couldn't see it at all. Just like how the death of a single lonely girl who rejected the world didn't matter to anyone in the world. She probably died instantly. It was only natural. She had fallen straight down from this height after all. Is it even conceivable that she wouldn't die instantly after something like that? The index finger on the right hand of her corpse stuck out as though it was tracing something. Could it be that by some impossible miracle she really had escaped an instant death? And could the red blood that had drained from her at the moment of her death have been the ink that drew her own personal red truths? However, no one could ever be able to tell what she had written. After all, the red blood pouring from her corpse had run over it all.
それさえもあんたの選択よ、エンジェ。
Eva was looking down at the beautiful flower of blood radiating from Angie's corpse.
私はあんたを生かそうとした。でもあんたは6歳より先の未来を生きようとしなかった。だからあんたは12年をかけてやっと元の場所に戻ってきた。
The eyes on Angie's corpse were closed. However, there was no way of knowing if this was a peaceful thing. Eventually, the corpse began to melt away. At the end, it had become a messy lump of flesh with only a few parts recognizable as human. It was hardly surprising. How else would she look after falling from that height and slamming against the asphalt?
あんたは死ねたわ。でもね、それで天国のみんなに迎えてもらえるかは別だわ。だってあんたはその天国のみんなを拒絶してここへ来たんじゃない。See you hell.
See you in hell.
いいえ、多分それはここだったのね。
You mean everything we're at right now is a hellscape?
さようなら、エンジェ。あらエヴァ、ちょうどいいところへ。お呼びでしょうか、我が主。そのひき肉のゴミを捨 てておいてちょうだい。私はこれを戻してくるわ。
In Berncastle's hands were the key, which had lost its magic when Angie made her decision, and the book of the single truth, which had been locked up again.
かしこまりました、我が主。
After looking down one more time, Berncastle vanished. Once she had gone, Eva summoned some cat familiars and ordered them to clean up. The black cats gathered Angie's flesh and scattered limbs and threw them into a tin bucket. Even in this miserable form, Angie's soul was still living. Perhaps living, quote unquote, is a poor description. I don't know about living. I mean, that soul is pretty much still tortured to this day. She was unable to die from now on, forever. She would drift along in the deepest depths of oblivion, covered by the dust of oblivion, until she finally disappeared. She continued to question herself. What did the truth mean to her? What was right, and where was the place she could call home? As her flesh began to cool, even the energy to ask these questions began to fade. Eventually, she would forget her everyday memories and even the reason why she was suffering. However, there was one thing she would never forget. That was the anguish. From this point forth, she would suffer endlessly without even knowing why. By the time the cats finished flinging her corpse into the bucket and dumping it into the sea of nothingness, Angie had forgotten even her own name. What's this sound I keep hearing? Yes, it must be the sound of rain. Okay, why is it's raining, but now it's all bright out? In that case, what are those two bright lights coming towards me? Oh god, I'm now looking at a game in light theme. Excuse me. I don't know. However, they came at me with a screeching sound and stopped right in front of me. A blaring noise came at me over and over. Whatever's shining those bright lights is threatening me. It's probably telling me to get out of the way. However, I was incapable of moving even a finger. There was a sound, and a car door opened. Car. Door. Apparently, I was lying on asphalt under the pouring rain. Wait, what? Where the fuck am I? I thought she's already dead. Oh, wait. Well, it doesn't matter anyway. Hachijo Ikuko. I saw a shadow, which was apparently the driver, open an umbrella and come towards me.
ここはそなたの庭か?
Oh shit. What? Did Angie just now like pop up on a street in the middle of nowhere now? The shadow questioned me. Of course I couldn't answer it.
そなたの庭ならば、私は謝らなければならないな。
What do you mean? What do you mean backyard?
なるほど。このような良き天気の日には、昼寝としゃれ込みたくなるような素晴らしき庭だ。しかし、私の記憶が確かなら。
The shadow crouched down and looked into my face. It was a woman.
ここは天下の講堂だ。そなたはひき肉になりたいのか？ あるいはすでにひき肉なのか。どちらなのか教えてほしい。
Well, Angie is trying to find a way to end her life because the world is meaningless to her. I guess that's the explanation for you, alright? Maybe she already is anyway. I clenched my chest. I felt I needed to answer somehow and communicate my intentions. So finally, I managed to let a short groan escape my lips.
なるほど。まだひき肉ではなかったようだな。
And that was how I met Ikuko. Where are we at now? Is beyond me. Oh, we're back here now. we're
非
back at
常に衰弱しております。
we're back at Hachijo's house. Chapter 14 this time. The patient. What? I'm sorry. Why am I reading it?
あと、記憶障害の可能性が高いですな。
Yeah, try reading it without characters voice acting.
CT を見ないことには分かりませんが、脳にダメージがある可能性もあります。
ダメージ程度で済んで大いに結構でした。
Damage. Brain damage. Oh shit. Does this mean that she now has amnesia?
あそこであのまま寝ていればそれどころでは済まなかったでしょうから。
ですな。いずれにせよ、大きな病院で一度見せた方がいいでしょう。
ありがとう先生。この件は内密に。これはわずかですが、往診のお車代に。
わざわざ他言はしませんが。
But
いやいや、こんなにたくさんいただくわけには。
what do you mean? You are the doctor after all. In the end, the doctor took the money and swore to keep quiet about the matter. Eventually, Hachijo returned.
おや、起きていたのですか。具合はいかがです？
I nodded weakly, letting her know that it wasn't so bad for now. But where is this place? A room I have absolutely no memory of, and a house I don't remember at all. And first and foremost, here's a woman I've never seen.
まずは私の自己紹介から。私は八条育子。
Hachijo Ikuko.
親しげに育子と呼んでくれても、他人行儀に八条さんと呼んでくれても構いません。
Oh, wait a minute. Did they actually ever introduce that? No. Well, we have Angie beard reaching away. Oh no, it's not introduced there. Okay. Wait a minute. Now I'm actually curious. This really now it really questions me. What if Hachijo Ikuko's like the actual name and Hachijo Toya is like, you know, actually a cover name for like someone else to take place of, you know, creating some sort of a tale. It's because there's no way Hachijo Toya is like is only a cover name. There could be like a different is hinting something different coming up. Hachijo Ikuko.
八条家はこの辺りでは ちょっと知られた大地主の名家。出来のいい兄たちと違い、私はどこかずれた変わり者。いろいろと悪さが過ぎまして、とうとう親たちからも愛想をつかされて追い出され、今はここで蟄居をさせられています。
You got into a bit too much Okay, I don't really want to pull some sort of devil's advocate of mischief here, but that's crazy. So you mean to tell me that Ikuko Hachijo is one of those, you know, you're part of a rich family?
趣味は推理小説を読むことと、そして書くこと。年は秘密の独身女。心は女子でも、そろそろそれを語るにはおこがましいかなという年頃です。
With the haze my mind was in, it was extremely hard to make out what she was talking about. However, I was able to pick up on the fact that she was trying to cheer me up.
それで、そなたの名前は？
That's a good question. What is her name after she got like knocked onto her noggin so hard that she couldn't remember? My name. Logically, I know that being a human, I must have a name. And I do have the feeling that I did indeed have a name. However, no matter how hard I tried to remember what it was, it just made my head hurt.
何か名前以外に覚えていることは？
No words. Who am I? My head. No, even my heart was a mess of torn flesh, and I couldn't remember a thing, not even who or what I was. But I must remember, I had some kind of purpose, or maybe a mission. In order to remember that, I first had to remember who I am. Who am I? What is my name? Where was I born, and what was my birthday? I need to remember something, anything. Age.
年？
Oh,
私の年は秘密です。
it's your secret. 18.
私が18歳に見える？
I'm 18.
ああ、そなたの年齢ですか。
Good old Hachijo being confused.
やれやれ、政治が過ぎると思いました。
When I asked myself how old I was, the number 18 floated into my mind. To be honest, the number 18 felt a bit out of place. My mind felt much younger than that, and my pathetic body felt much older. Yeah. You're mentally younger, but you're physically older.
なるほど。そなたは18歳というわけだ。そしてそれ以上のことは何も覚えていないと。
I nodded weakly. I never knew that knowing nothing about yourself could make you feel this powerless.
では、そなたが自分の名を思い出すまで、18という年にちなみ、18と書いて、トウヤと読む名前を与えましょう。
The name Toya, written with the characters for 18 until you remember.
八条トウヤ。いかがです？ん？
なかなかかっこいいです。自画自賛。
Hachijo Ikuko gave a satisfied laugh. From then on, I took the name Hachijo Toya. My inability to move my body was apparently due to a traffic accident. On that day, I had been hit by a car and Ikuko had picked me up from where I lay on the street. If she hadn't hit the brakes, she probably would have driven straight onwards thinking she'd run over a dead dog or something. Later on, perhaps rudely, I suspected that the one who hit me might have been Ikuko herself. But when I saw her completely undamaged front bumper of the car, I gave up on that theory. Wait a minute. Now my mind is realizing something for a moment there. What if this amnesiac was this Hachijo Toya? This was supposedly Battler. What if it was that? I'm kind of curious. And now, like, until the next 12 years. It's boggling my mind for a moment there. Anyway, we'll be right back for a couple more minutes. I gotta get my refill. Alrighty, let's continue, shall we? Let's see how this conversation between the amnesiac and Hachijo Ikuko turned out. Hachijo Ikuko lived in a small but lovely mansion on the top of a small hill in a village with a view of the sea. She also owned a hill behind her and was more than capable of enjoying the four seasons in privacy. As time passed slowly, my rehabilitation continued and my ability to move improved little by little. However, it seemed I really did suffer some form of brain damage. Finding out who I was looked like it would be a very difficult task. In the beginning, when I couldn't bear not knowing my identity, my head often hurt so much. Often hurt so much. It felt as though it would explode. However, as I slowly accepted the fact that I was a new person with the new name of Hachijo Toya, the headaches became less frequent. That whole time, no memories returned to me except the fact that I had been 18. However, I was unable to remember anymore. Unable even to be sure that 18 was my true age. And eventually I stopped trying to remember my former self.
おはよう、トーヤ。昨日はひどい嵐でしたが、よく眠れましたか？
I had some trouble falling asleep, so I decided to read your manuscript.
おやおや。どこまで読んでくれたのですか？
I finished it.
これは驚いた。あの量の原稿用紙を一晩で読み切ったというのですか？
Yeah. Yeah, that Toya Hachijo sure is interested in, reading. I was surprised too. Once I got into it, I finished before I knew it. It was like I was just skimming it, or maybe like I was taking in each page with just a glance.
どうやらそなたは速読の心得があるようですね。してどうでしたか？感想は。
I liked it a lot. Still, if you don't explain that part about the ocean currents a bit more clearly, it might be a little unfair for a detective novel. Oh, but I thought it was great that you had the foreshadowing with the ring right there at the beginning. After I finished, I had to go back to the beginning and slap myself for being so easily tricked. I think giving people that feeling is what detective novels do best. Um, did I say something to offend you? If I did, you have my apologies.
いや、なぜ謝るのです。驚いています。
Oh, well, thank goodness.
そなたの的確な感想は称賛に値するでしょう。そなたはどうやら批評家か、あるいは推理小説作家の才能があるらしい。
A detective novel writer, a critic. From across the fog of oblivion, I seem to remember myself fighting and arguing about mysteries or something like that. That way of fighting, which I must have learned in the past, sent a surge of excitement through me. Mystery, fighting. My head hurt. I took a painkiller and swallowed it with fresh water brought up from the well. Who am I, really? But no matter how much I thought, I couldn't remember. From what I've been told, the frequency of the headaches might be lessened by brain surgery, but there was no guarantee that it would do my memory any good. Ikuko said that she would let me have surgery if I wanted it. However, I refused. Even if I can't remember it, the real me is still there, sleeping inside my head. I was scared that the surgery might harm that me, quote unquote, somehow. By now, I've gotten used to dealing with headaches. As long as I don't force myself to remember the past, the headaches don't torment me every day. So, bit by bit, I became free of the headaches and got used to my new life as Hachijo Toya. Gradually, my interests shifted from myself to Ikuko. Hachijo Ikuko, a very strange woman. First off, she was apparently the daughter of a very well-off family, just as she had said. However, she was considerably eccentric, and the various mischievous incidents, quote-unquote, she spoke of had apparently gotten her within an inch of being disowned. As a result, she had been given this house and had been ordered to live here quietly and alone. She had never been a particularly social person, so she happily accepted this new state of affairs, living however she pleased with servants to take care of her. She had no friends. No one ever came to visit. When I wasn't around, she only ever talked to an old black cat she kept as a pet named Burn. Bernie? I don't know her real age. She doesn't seem to be too old to marry yet, but with an isolated life like this, she isn't likely to meet people. She sometimes says that she just hasn't met anyone worth the trouble, but I think she's already given up on marriage. Her everyday life was very simple. She would either read through the many detective novels that were brought to her, or else write detective novels herself. Yeah, a novelist, an author. At first, I thought she was some novelist at a private retreat plugging away at a new book. However, the manuscripts she finished just ended up clipped together in a pile. With me as the sole exception, it didn't look like she ever let anyone read them. A novelist is someone who writes novels for people to read. So, I figured you could hardly call her a novelist when she kept writing novels no one would ever see. Ikuko-san, Why don't you ever show these to anyone?
そなたには見せています。無論出来のマシなものに限りますが。
Haven't you ever thought of sending one to some publishing company? It's a waste otherwise when your works are so interesting.
私の作品などプロには通じぬ。一度送ったことがあるがさっぱりダメでした。私には分かっています。こんなもの素人の道楽です。
I don't think amateur is a fitting word for someone who's so well versed in detective novels from all times and all across the world.
大飯ぐらいが良き料理人になれるわけでもない。推理小説を読み散らすことが良き推理小説家であることを保証するわけでもない。そういうことです。
Amateur, huh?
だからこんなものは道楽に過ぎません。
Excuse me. Is it really fun to write novels that you won't show to anyone?
かつては楽しかった。かつては。
What about now?
そなたに感想を得ることが楽しい。
Well, then what about one? What it used to be once.
とりあえず一章を書き終えました。お茶を用意させるのでまた読んで感想を聞かせてもらえませんか？
Hachijo Toya is now going to be the reader for Hachijo Ikuko, huh? Saying this with a smile, Ikuko thrust a pile of manuscript paper at me. I'm convinced that whether you read detective novels or write them, they're boring if you're all on your own. You can only find something really precious when you share that world with someone else. Share it with a personal friend. Headache.
どうよ。しっかり。今頭痛薬を。
Get some aspirin. I'm fine. I'm more interested in this manuscript. I can't wait for the new chapter. Well, as much as I want to continue this, I think it's a good time to stop it from here. You know, this might be a good I believe chapter 14 is going to be a bit of a chill chapter right here. So, aside of Ange reaching the whole of the book of the single truth, opening it, and now we are here between Hachijo Toya and Hachijo Ikuko. So the next part, we will continue what's going on between the two. So with that being said, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.